Covering the Universal Orlando Resort for over 5 years, you are listening to the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 223 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. I'm your host Tracy, and with me we have Darren.
What's up, Internet?
And we have Hunter.
Hey, it's me, Hunter.
And we have Mayo the Halfling.
The UOP is in no way affiliated with the Grim Grinning Host podcast.
Most people don't even know what that is at this point.
Well, that's all right then.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Say, even though the very first words out of my mouth is, this is a project for members of UOP.
Right, so that's set the tone for this evening then. Okay.
It's good to be back. I love all of you. It's a big podcast family.
Right. Everybody okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right, shall we start with some Producers Club birthdays? Darren.
Yes, let's do that. The first one we have is November 27th, and that was Becca Martise. I'm gonna do that. It sounds fancier. And then the other one is Rob Hoffman, and that was December 5th. So happy birthday to both of you.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Right, now we're we are wrapping up.
It is,
Let's get to the end of the year. I can't believe it's December next week.
No, don't.
So we are wrapping up the Florean Fortescue ice cream debate, which has been epic.
Yeah, we've got lots to get through.
We have got lots to get through. So you need to buckle up, sit down, because we've got a few clips for you. We're going to hear from James and Shannon, Kiki, Philip, Tes and Tod.
Do I press play?
Yeah, helps.
Okay, it is.
Hey everyone, this is Shannon from Nightmarish Conjurings.
It's James, Creepy Kingdom, Foolish Mortals.
And we are here live at Diagon Alley, getting ready for Hurricane Matthew.
That's right.
And I just tried butterbeer ice cream for the first time, and I think personally my mind exploded. I absolutely loved it. I may actually like it more than the drink itself. So yeah, I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, the ice cream form of butterbeer is my favorite form of butterbeer, but this is not the great butterbeer debate anymore. I know that we wrapped that up. I don't know who was the winner of that. I don't know if you guys tallied that up.
Hot.
But anyways, you want to know what our favorite flavor of ice cream is, and it's really hard for me to get anything other than butterbeer ice cream. I did ask for a sample when I was inside, and I was informed with a very straight face that the ministry does not allow for ice cream samples. So I need to get some kind of proposition of the ministry to allow ice cream samples, because I'm not just gonna try chocolate chili, buy a whole thing of it and just roll the dice on that when I know butterbeer ice cream is amazing. So you got 2 votes here for butterbeer ice cream.
Woohoo! Hi UOP, this is Kiki Marich here reporting from Diagon Alley, specifically right in front of the entrance to Nocturne Alley. I'm here today with John, Bo, Jim, Trevor, and Cody. We flew all the way from Chicago, and we're so excited to cast our vote for the Florean Fortescue's ice cream debate. I'm going to go ahead and go first with what I think is the obvious choice, and that is for butterbeer. John?
As the ice cream expert, I vote for salted caramel blondie.
I've got to give it to the butterbeer here and say that clotted cream is a distant 6th place.
Very last. Butterbeer is the clear winner, and anyone who says different is a liar. Butterbeer all the way.
Apple crumble is easily the best.
Obviously, we are torn, but butterbeer wins this round for us. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye.
Hello, this is Phil.
This is Candy.
We're from the UK and we are here outside Florean Fortescue's ice cream parlour, weighing in with our opinion on the ice cream debate. I got the salted caramel blondie, and the dragon's about to kick off here, I tell you. And Candy got the, what'd you get?
Sticky toffee pudding. There you go,
nice dragon.
He just melted our ice cream, so now it's just a puddle. And but then Candy gave me her ice cream because she preferred the taste of my salted caramel blondie. So we are going to add 2 votes for salted caramel blondie.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and I'm going to get back to this now because my ice cream is nothing but a puddle. I'm going to have to lick it off the floor because I paid enough for it and I'm not going to waste it.
This is Tess from the greatest theme park restaurant in the world, the Mythos, weighing in on the great ice cream debate. I wanted to wait until I tried all the toppings and all the flavors before weighing in. My favorite flavor is the strawberries and cream. However, my favorite topping is the caramel. The greatest combo would be salted caramel blondie with the caramel topping. Sorry to give you 2 answers, guys. Keep up the great work.
This is Todd.
And this is Vicky.
We're here for the Florean's
Florean.
We're here for Florean's Fortescue's ice cream debate. We decided that, number 1,
apple crumble is the best.
Apple crumble is the best, she says. I say it's still butterbeer. After I had the chocolate chili, it was okay. There's nothing like your butterbeer. This is a Cincinnati Brocat with my hat and my wife. And I'm out.
I'm out. Bye.
As the tally stands, butterbeer is winning. Followed by apple crumble. Followed by salted caramel blondie. Followed by chocolate chili.
Fantastic.
Interesting.
But what are the tallies for the Florence fettuccine?
That was funny.
Alfredo is winning.
Alfredo, the ice cream of champions.
Alfredo chili vanilla.
Ugh. Just real quick. Last time I was there, I tried the strawberry peanut butter for the first time. It was actually really good. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Excellent.
And if anyone's curious, the clotted cream tastes just like cheesecake.
Oh.
So if you like cheesecake, that's where to go.
That's better than it tastes like clotted cream because I can't stand it.
I don't mind clotted cream, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bitter cheesecake taste. Like, I really liked it, but I'm a big cheesecake guy, so your mileage may vary.
Me too.
So thank you, everyone. We will wrap up the debate in 2 weeks' time. Now, if you want to get your vote in, then all you have to do is
record us a message on your phone telling us who you are, where you are, and which is your favorite Florean Fortescue ice cream flavor, and email them to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com.
Or, alternatively, you can go to speakpipe.com/uuopodcast, record your message there, and it'll come directly to us. For even better results, record it from the Wizarding World, even if your ice cream becomes a puddle.
Yeah, do that because it's really good working out where they're standing. And
yeah.
Sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Like, please get off your hands and knees.
Licking it up off the floor.
Before things degenerate even further, I think it's time for the news. Now, first, we're heading over to Seth to hear more of the little things from Universal Orlando.
Hi, everyone. Seth Kubersky back with another look at all the little things that are new around Universal Orlando Resort. This past week, I was really busy with IAAPA, the big annual convention of the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. And while I was at the expo, I picked out a tidbit about the new Jimmy Fallon Race Through New York ride going into Universal Studios Florida. It seems that the Flying Theater ride hardware is designed by Dymo Rides. So you can check out dymorides.com and look for their classic Flying Theater design for an idea of what the new Jimmy Fallon ride might look like. Speaking of Universal Studios Florida, the Freestyle Coca-Cola kiosk outside the Men in Black attraction has finally opened. Inside, you'll find something new, the ability to buy a single-serve cup of Coke Freestyle. So if you want to try Freestyle but aren't ready to invest in the unlimited use cup, you can get a single serve for about the same price as a soft drink elsewhere in the park. Over at Islands of Adventure, the 5th tram on the Reign of Kong ride has finally come into operation with animatronic driver Becky. Now that all 5 trucks are circling around Skull Island, the hourly capacity should be over 2,000 guests per hour, which should help make that queue move much quicker. Also in Islands of Adventure, over in Marvel Superhero Island, the frozen ice stand has emerged from behind construction walls and is now an Auntie Annie pretzel stand.
Woohoo!
And in both Universal parks, in the Wizarding World, Universal Orlando is holding a magical creatures scavenger hunt where you can take photos of creatures and post them to social media. Visit blog.universalorlando.com for more information on the scavenger hunt. And finally, at the Sapphire Falls Resort Hotel, if you have a Premier Annual Pass, you can now get a free drink, either a domestic draft beer or a house wine or a soft drink, with your meal at Amatista Restaurant. So head over to Sapphire Falls and have a drink on me, and I'll see you the next time with more little things around Universal Orlando Resort.
Darren, will you be taking up that offer?
I think I might have to do that. Yeah, I actually looked up the website he mentioned while he was talking there, and it's really interesting, that ride system. Did you take a look at it at all?
I haven't actually.
It's standing.
Okay.
It's like this weird support system that you kind of lean up against.
Weird.
Okay.
So everyone was expecting it to be like soaring, where you're sitting down strapped in.
Yeah, the whole system is tilted. It's dymorides.com, dymorides.com. Yeah, it's interesting. This is not what I expected at all.
Okay,
It's kind of interesting that they're taking a standing attraction and making it a standing attraction in that case.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It just seems odd and unsafe. I don't know. It says it has capacities ranging from 30 persons to 120 persons.
Interesting.
So it makes me wonder if the actual ride part of the attraction is going to be very, very short, like 2.5, 3 minutes. Because that's not a... What would that be capacity wise? You said it's like 150 people?
72. 70. Didn't they say it'll be 72?
72 people in the theater per...
Yeah.
And it's only the one theater?
As far as we know.
Jeez.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we don't really know yet, so...
Well, we'll see. Well, thank you for that, Seth. It was informative as usual.
It's good because, like I say, because we don't go very often, and I think sometimes, like Darren and Hunter, when they do go, you're not always looking out for those little changes, stupid, like daft little things that might, like the free drink at Amatista or stuff like that. It's like, oh, that's cool little tidbits for people who are going that think, oh, I'll check that out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was quite impressed by that. So, right, now as we swiftly move into the holiday season, Universal Orlando are gearing up their festive offerings. You gave me this one just to rub it in, didn't you, you sod?
No.
You did.
It's about the only news that's out there at the moment.
Now, beginning December the 3rd and running daily through till January the 1st, families can celebrate the most wonderful time of the year at Universal Orlando Resort's Holidays Celebration. Adults and children alike will marvel at the majestic balloons in the 15th anniversary of Macy's Holiday Parade, discover the holiday cheer of Whoville at Grinchmas, and hear electrifying holiday classics performed by renowned Christmas sensation Mannheim Steamroller. Woohoo! Now, Darren, would you be so kind as to tell us what guests can experience in Universal Studios Florida?
Well, at Universal Studios Florida, the larger-than-life balloons, as seen in the famous Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City, will fill the streets during the 15th anniversary Macy's Holiday Parade. New to this year's parade is the Virginia balloon depicting the 8-year-old girl from the famed Yes, Virginia, There Is a Santa Claus newspaper editorial of the late 1800s, as well as the Mother Ginger special character from the Nutcracker, whatever that is, which will join the many popular balloons in the Macy's Holiday Parade, including Big Man Santa and the Wiggle Worm.
Right. Has anybody any idea what any of those things are?
I thought Big Man Santa was just what people called me, but apparently not.
That makes this even more disturbing because all I heard was Big Man Santa and the Wiggle Worm.
Oh.
That's a different kind of parade, people.
He's got a lot in his sack.
I won't go where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, the Big Man Santa float was the one that Nina and I were on last year.
Okay,
right.
So
cool.
Yeah.
So Darren and Nina were on Big Man
That's
Santa.
one that actually comes from the Macy's Parade in New York. So.
Cool.
And you didn't trip over his wiggle worm.
No.
I actually asked one of the team members recently. I was like, with Disney, as soon as Halloween ends, they start their Christmas celebrations, right? They completely gloss over Thanksgiving. So I actually asked, Universal, why do you guys wait so long to start your your Christmas stuff? And apparently it's because they have to wait to get the Macy's Day parades before the event is fully in swing. So I just thought that was a really cool piece of that.
That makes sense.
Definitely.
Right, well, that was some great stuff over there. Hunter, what can guests expect at Islands of Adventure?
At Universal's Islands of Adventure, guests will come face to face with the mean green one himself and be filled with holiday cheer as Grinchmas comes to life throughout Seuss Landing.
Again.
Guests can discover... Again. It's the same thing as the last 18 years.
I don't care. I want to go.
I know.
Yeah. The best part of Grinchmas is last year Darren and I went and we were like, kind of smells like Halloween Heart, I'd say. Guests can discover the true meaning of Christmas and a heartwarming live show, Grinchmas Holiday Spectacular, featuring the Who's from Whoville, of course, or join the Grinch and friends for a delicious holiday breakfast buffet on select dates. It's $35. It's $35 for the buffet. It's just candy canes. Go nuts.
And it's different this year because it's the real true meaning. They've been holding back, but this year they're going to give out the real true meaning. That's the new thing this year. So.
All right.
Okay. Also, on select nights, the Masters of Modern Christmas Music, Mannheim Steamroller, return with the sweet sounds of the holiday season at Universal Studios Florida. Performances take place at the Music Plaza stage on December 3rd, 4th, 10th, 11th, 17th, and 18th. And access to Universal Orlando's holiday festivities is included in regular admission to the theme parks. For more information, visit universalorlando.com/holidays.
Just curious, is this less dates than Mannheim Steamroller's done before? Because it seems like
shorter.
they used to do a lot more events.
I'll be
Maybe
honest.
not.
I've never really taken that much notice of how many dates they play.
I do seem to recall reading more dates in previous years.
I wonder if Summer's playing with them this year. She always does, doesn't she? Summer always sings with
Yeah.
them.
Cool. Right. Well, the celebrations continue at Universal's on-site hotels. Lee, tell us more.
So at Universal's 5 on-site hotels, which includes the all-new Lowe's Sapphire Falls Resort, which is celebrating its first holiday season, the spirit of the season flows freely at the on-site hotels with festive decor, tree lighting ceremonies, Thanksgiving. Is that part of the holidays?
It is because people put the tree up, don't they?
Okay. Christmas Day and New Year's... hang on. So Thanksgiving, Christmas Day and New Year's holiday buffets plus special family-friendly events to ring in 2017. You can find out more information about the hotel's festivities here. I don't know where that is. I obviously didn't read that properly before I go in and pasted it.
Report back to the podcast. We'll get you more information.
Probably Universal blog, I'm guessing.
I would assume it's at universalorlando.com
/holidays.
holidays.
Yeah, probably.
Hotels.
Oh, something.
Holiday true meaning of Christmas.
Just go to universalorlando.com.
Yeah.
There will be a link to it there.
Yeah.
And finally, there is Eve at Universal City Walk. Eve? Hunter, tell us more about Eve.
She was Adam's best friend.
Womp, womp, womp.
Hang on.
At the same time, I'm glad you dropped it, but then I'm also a little disappointed. The holidays wouldn't be complete without a spectacular New Year's Eve party. Guests can ring in the new year at Universal City Walk's electrifying New Year's Eve celebration. Sounds dangerous. Featuring Orlando's largest dance floor, endless entertainment, and all-you-can-eat gourmet cuisine. Information about Eve event tickets will be released at a later date.
Don't want to wait
Hopefully before New Year's
too
Eve.
long because it's pretty close.
It's like, what, 5 weeks away?
Don't say that.
Well, the New Year, I've always got the impression the New Year's Eve thing is more for the local crowd anyways. I don't think anybody's like flying over from England to come do the New Year's Eve event.
Probably.
I don't know.
Actually, sad to say, but I know Barry Gornall used to do it quite often.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got sad now.
They used to go out quite often for New Year.
Yeah. You made me all
Way to
sad
break it
now.
down.
Yeah.
Still his memory, though. We're still
It
talking
is,
about
I
him.
know. I think about him every bloody day. Right. Again, for more information about the holidays at Universal Orlando, ticket offers and vacation packages, visit universalorlando.com/holidays. And Universal have finally put Volcano Bay tickets on sale for everyone. Hunter, tell us more.
Tickets for Volcano Bay went on sale November 15th, and it looks like there isn't a single day water park option, at least for now. The only way currently to purchase tickets for the new water theme park is to buy multi-day tickets, starting with the 3-park 2-day option for $275 or $274.99 for adults and $264.99 for kids. Additional days can be added to suit your needs, and the more days you buy, the more you save per day. The tickets will be available to use at Volcano Bay beginning January, or excuse me, that's a little early. It's just going to be a big hunk of steel. You're going to be disappointed. These tickets will be available to use at Volcano Bay beginning June 1st of next year.
They're wanting people to book tickets in advance for it.
Yeah, it's the pre-order mentality, you know? Like, there's no way they're not going to sell just a single park day ticket. Well, I guess either way it works.
Here's a water day.
There's no way that they don't sell just a single day ticket for Volcano Bay.
Yeah, they've got to, but I think they're missing out on early on like the annual pass holders and that kind of thing, because there's no way we're going to buy a multi-day ticket. So, but I know a lot of people would want to buy a ticket right away. So I think they're kind of blocking us out of the first few weeks at least.
Darren, let me ask you, when is your annual pass up for renewal?
I don't really remember. It's right before Mardi Gras starts, so I think it's that's March?
February-ish, isn't it?
So, yeah, mine is actually right around the same time period. Are you going to cancel your pass until they announce an option with Volcano Bay, or are you going to keep your current pass and just buy a one-day ticket when it becomes available?
I don't know. It all just depends on what offers they have going on at that time.
I was just
they do the extra 3 months sometimes and that kind of thing. So
yeah, well, I know you have the Premier Pass, or at least you did. No, you do. Okay, never mind. With the Premier Pass, that's currently still the highest pass that Universal offers. Surely there's going to be a Premier plus Volcano Bay annual pass going to be announced relatively soon.
Yeah, I would not opt for that. I would just one day at Volcano Bay is probably good enough for me.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking you're not a huge water park fan, are you, Darren? So it's not something you think, I'd go once a month because I'm into that thing. Whereas for you, it's like I'm a one and done, so I'm not going to hold out for an annual pass just for the sake of being able to go once.
That also brings up the discussion if Volcano Bay is going to be open up later without the actual water attractions running. Are annual pass holders or day guests just going to be able to come in and do some of the other stuff that's in the park?
The problem is we don't know what else is going to be in there just yet.
That's exactly it. I assume for safety reasons, there's a reason the water park's always closed early, correct?
You would assume so.
Yeah.
Unless they light it up like a football field, which they can.
But would you want to? That's going to take away from the volcano package. If you start lighting it up, like you say, if you start putting lights up so everyone can see everything, then you're going to defeat the object of what they've already showed us.
It's going to look like the second Jurassic Park movie, where they've got that mini Jurassic Park in San Diego, and the whole thing's just like lit ablaze with stage lights.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's the only way they can do it if they want to.
I think the good thing is they've given us enough to whet our appetites, but there's still plenty there that they haven't told us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see how much they do charge for a one-day ticket, because that doesn't really give you sort of any indication. I don't know what a normal 3-park, like a 2-park, 2-day ticket is. I'm going to have a look, actually. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah, I never actually thought, just to see what the add-on, what they're actually upcharging that add-on for. So a normal park ticket for 2 days. What is it? 2 day,
So
2 park.
It's a 3 day,
3 park 2 days. Yeah. So
2 park 2 day on there.
So a normal 2 day, 2 park ticket is $234.99. So they're charging you $40 extra for that extra park.
Pretty reasonable for a water park, I'd say.
Yeah, Hunter, how much is it to go to like Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon?
I thought last time I checked, I thought it was at least like 75. No, I do think there's like resident discounts and everything like that. Go ahead and keep talking, and I'll find out for you.
I have no clue.
Go on, Trace, move on to the next bit then while he's looking at that.
It's starting at $60 for a 1 day ticket.
Interesting. You would assume that once a 1 day ticket becomes available, it will be more than that $40 add-on. They'll do that because you're buying it as part of like a multi-park, multi-day ticket. So $60 would sound about right, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll find out soon enough, I guess.
Well,
we won't.
Yep. I think we will at some point, but...
Right. Now, Darren, something is going on at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Hogsmeade that may upset a few people. Do you want to enlighten us?
Yes. If you are traveling to Universal Orlando for the holidays, you will find that Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey may not be opened. It is scheduled to go down for refurb on December 1st through December 18th. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's unclear what will happen during this refurb, but speculation ranges from the extra Dementors that have been part of the attraction since day one, but never actually used, being fully added into the attraction, to the video being converted into 3D to make it consistent with its Japan and Hollywood counterparts. Most likely it will see a cleanup, as this is the first official closure the attraction has had since it opened on June 18th, 2010.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like 5.5 years.
To me, this sounds way more just like a routine, fix up the attraction, get it cleaned up a bit. Like, I'll be surprised if there are new elements incorporated while it's down for this period.
Yeah, I've heard a few things sort of say, because from what I've heard, it's one of those, is it Test Track at Disney that runs constantly? It's on all the time.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently this is the same from what I've heard, that literally the only time it stops is when it breaks down. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So it's literally been running.
That's pretty much how I function too.
So it's literally been running for 6 years at this point, virtually non-stop.
Yeah. If they do anything, I just want to see them upgrade the projectors, because I rode it and the ride is still great. I still really love riding it. It's one of my favorite rides of all time, but it is blurry. Like, those images are getting really, really burnt out.
Yeah, we said that last year. I have heard, I think it was Orlando Informer I was listening to today, that they've heard from a team member that they may still be running castle tours during the closure.
Yeah.
So you might not get to ride it, but you can still go through the castle tour line.
It's a bit of a funny time to do it, though, right when they're about to hit the Christmas crowd.
Apparently, that time of year isn't. It's busy, but it's still ramping up. So it's one of the quieter times.
I suppose from the 18th onwards, it's going to be.
But it does apparently because I think what they're expecting is because of Fantastic Beasts and where to find them, it's going to give the Harry Potter fandom a shot in the arm. They're expecting a lot more people to come out for the celebration of Harry Potter next year, and they want that, which is, let's be honest, it's the flagship ride of the Wizarding World. They want it up and running and looking its best for that. So
it's surprising, because you think if they were going, I absolutely believe if they were going to incorporate the extra Dementors, or if they were going to change it over to 3D, it'd be a little bit longer. I mean, you're still working with 2 weeks here, so I guess if they really push it, I mean, Universal has blown us away with their timetables before.
Yeah, true.
But I'm going to be surprised if it is more than a routine cleanup. But kind of like what Tracy's saying, I think a lot of people are going to be kind of let down, because if you've planned this trip for a long time, this is your big holiday trip.
Yeah.
Forbidden Journey is a major attraction to take down. And especially when you look at Islands of Adventure, Florida has actually been, and Darren can agree with me here, I'm sure, Florida's actually been surprisingly cold lately. Like today it's like 60 degrees. Last night it was down to 35 at one point here.
Bikini weather.
It was -1 here last night.
My point being is Islands of Adventure, 3 of their major attractions are water rides.
Yeah.
So you take those down, you take out Forbidden Journey.
Yeah.
You've got the 3 coasters with Dragon Challenge, and you've got Hulk. You've got Seuss Landing and Spider-Man and
Skull Island.
But is that worth the $120 some people will pay to go to the park for one day?
I think when Fallon and Fast and Furious open, they really need to turn their focus over onto islands. I love Islands of Adventure, but we said when we came away last year, it's in desperate need of some TLC.
Yep.
I honestly think the best thing they could do at this point is kind of gut Toon Lagoon and put more year-round attractions in there. Keep Bilge Rat barges or retheme Bilge Rat barges, but I think it's probably time to say bye to Dudley.
Yeah. Like you say, there's nothing else. If you're not a water ride person, like Darren, for example, or it's that time of year where it's too cold to ride them, you're not literally. That's like that whole section of the park from Jurassic Park down over to Marvel that you're not touching.
Yep, and that's more than a quarter of a park. That's like 30% of your park right there.
Yeah,
very true.
Plus, Jurassic Park is the biggest land, and you've only got the one attraction in there.
Well, Pteranodon Fly is.
Yeah, but you have to have a child for that.
This is true. Yeah.
Well, you have one. You've got Lee.
Don't get me started.
Anyway, I'm going to jump in with some breaking news. I'll have to come up with some sort of breaking. Oh, there you go. Universal, literally just before we started to record, I got an email saying they are introducing a new interactive float to the Superstar Parade, because I do believe Hop has now gone.
Well, it was a bit outdated when they introduced it.
I like Hop anyway. Shut up.
Interactive float.
Yes.
You just hop. Just run right into the float area.
It will be.
You gotta hop on board.
A Secret Life of Pets float.
That's expected.
So it says the world of Secret Life of Pets will be brought to life in 2 incredibly detailed floats. What?
So there's going to be like big stand mixers for you to run underneath and get your back scratched with, and
maybe. The first is themed after Central Park and will feature the film's 2 main characters, Max and his unlikely friend Duke. Well, I've no idea who they are because I haven't seen it. And the second float will showcase the apartment and skyline of the Big Apple from the film. It will house even more memorable characters, including the head-banging Leonard. I bet they don't play System of a Down,
this is what I was going to say, especially that particular song.
Buddy and his unique massage mixer. There you go.
Thank you.
Fearless leader Snowball, Gidget, Chloe, and more. And for the first time ever, some of the characters will talk with guests. Ooh. Okay.
I don't speak dog.
The thing is, though, like Disney have been doing that for a while, and I've always wondered if Universal are ever going to jump on that. That's quite interesting. That bloody crow's back again.
Well, he's very excited. He's like talking animals. I've got my job. I've got to migrate.
You couldn't have timed that better.
It said the all-new floats will be surrounded by high-energy performers dressed as ordinary pet owners who will dance, bounce, and even do parkour gymnastics.
Oh,
parkour! I thought you said do park or gymnastic
parkour.
Parkour. Right? Yes, I'm with you now.
Right, I am seriously quite intrigued to find out what this talking with guests thing is.
Yeah, sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
They're going to talk out of the mask, but the mask isn't going to move. It's just going to be very unsettling, and a lot of children are going to cry.
And Lee.
It should be the dog there, but it's going to be Jack's voice coming out of it.
Hey, the good.
Hello, Kitty.
I'm not sure. Did anybody else see Secret Life of Pets?
No.
No, not yet.
We will do.
I wasn't. Oh, going ahead.
We will do at some point.
Oh, we don't have to pay for it.
I wasn't a big fan of the movie itself, but I would absolutely like to see those characters incorporated in the park because I think they've got a broad appeal. Definitely more so than Hop does. So I'm just kind of sad because the drummers were my favorite part of that parade.
Yeah, they were pretty cool.
The best thing to come out of this is we don't often get breaking news. This is the stuff they pull out the day after we release a podcast.
Very true.
Not an hour before.
This is true.
It's strange that we don't address it on the podcast that comes out after, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, moving swiftly on. It's time to head over for another Autism at the Park with Maureen from Universal Studios Florida.
Hi, this is Maureen Deal with Autism at the Parks, and I'm reporting from Universal Orlando Resort for the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. And today I'm at Kings Cross Station in Universal Studios Florida, and this is the area where you will board the Hogwarts Express over to Hogsmeade. The only requirement for this attraction is that children under 48 inches must have a supervising companion. Those guests that are using a wheelchair or a scooter, also known as ECV or electronic convenience vehicle, you can remain in your convenience vehicle and your wheelchair. Guests who need to use the attraction assistance pass can get a return time if the posted wait is 30 minutes or more, and the team member will direct you how to board the platform. Those of you that are in wheelchairs or ECVs, there is an elevator that you can board in order to be lifted up to the platform and loading area. I highly recommend this attraction for all park guests, especially those of you who are Harry Potter fans. And this has been Maureen Deal for the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, signing off from Universal Studios Florida.
Thank you for that, Maureen. We also wanted to bring to people's attention that we now have the ability for deaf people to enjoy the podcast.
Yeah, something I didn't realise that was actually part of it, but because how Libsyn work now, when we publish the show, it now goes onto YouTube. And because it goes onto YouTube, you can use the closed caption option on YouTube. Now, it's not great. Honestly, I urge anyone to go and check it out because it's hilarious, but it's not bad, right? It gives, if you know anyone who's deaf or partial, what's the word? Not partial, like hearing impaired. Yeah, that's what I've written there as well. If I actually read what I've written, it might be better.
That's pretty good.
They can enjoy the podcast. Actually, possibly better than everyone else's because it's funny some of the stuff that it does actually
pineapple
transcribe.
eggplants.
Yeah, it's quite amusing. But yeah, go on.
Let me ask you, Lee, whose accent does it decipher the best?
That's an interesting question. I haven't watched enough to get that.
I'm gonna have to sit down and watch a full episode.
It's funny. I just put it on just to sort of check it out, and it is pretty good considering it kind of does it on the fly.
Yeah, like I think I can speak for all you guys. Like we've been working with Maureen for a long time, who does the awesome segment with Autism at the Park. So we've always been focused on inclusiveness and getting everybody involved. So it's fun to bring that over to the podcast too.
Absolutely. Like you say, it's all inclusive at that point that everyone can enjoy it. Just because you can't hear doesn't mean you can't enjoy the show.
Absolutely.
Right, it is time for a rumour mill. So, are we ready, guys? What have you got?
Yeah.
Hit me.
I'm ready.
There's not an awful lot out there, but
There
it's something that's been getting discussed more and more, and that rumour seems stronger and stronger as the days and weeks go by. But something happening to Dragon Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. There's tons of rumours going around. I've heard the potential of it getting the VR treatment. Now, we've discussed VR on coasters before on the show, and I think the general consensus is that we're not really.
Yeah.
I mean, Tracy, you were against it, and having ridden Galactica this year.
I was against it because obviously it's a pain in the arse for me because I wear glasses. And then it's where do I put my glasses? Because I only have the one pair and I don't want to get them broken. And, I loved the overlay of
Galactica.
of air with becoming Galactica. It blew me away. But
there's a massive butt there. I can feel it.
You said I've got a massive butt.
Behave.
So, it didn't deny it though. Thanks. Thank you.
Who was that though?
I don't care. I'll take it. So it wasn't you.
It was the crow.
I've got to leave that crow in now.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's always what do you do with your glasses?
It could be awesome though. You think about
be.
the VR, if they did it well on that coaster, could be pretty cool. Actually have like the dragons chasing you and stuff would be awesome.
It could be cool. And my thing with Dragon Challenge is by far my favorite specific. Is it the Hungarian Horntail, the blue side?
It's the Chinese Fireball's red, yes.
Yes. Okay. The Hungarian Horntail is my favorite roller coaster at Universal by far.
Right.
I did the Hulk recently. Unfortunately, I wasn't that impressed with it. So Hungarian Horntail is still my favorite. I'm going to actually be pretty sad if we see Dragon Challenge go. But that said, Dragon Challenge is still kind of a holdover from the old Islands of Adventure. And it's, I guess to kind of put it bluntly, it's always been kind of half-assed in a lot of ways. Now they have made minor improvements as far as like adding like the banners and everything like that in the queue. But the actual ride itself, I think, has honestly gotten worse as time's gone on. They don't duel anymore, which takes away a lot of the appeal.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
never see it even on the busiest days over 20 minutes of a wait. I don't think it's driving traffic. So if they're going to put something else there instead, I guess more power to them.
I know. Go on, sorry, Dan.
Oh, just talking about the theming on the actual attraction, and so you're just going through like a muddy dirt pit, basically.
Yeah.
There's like
Should
little
have been part of
sprays
the
of grass
queue,
and
right?
weeds. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, as well, for a lot of people, that'll be their first walk through it, so they don't know what it used to be as well. And I think for those of us that rode it as Dueling Dragons, we know what that queue, even just
What it
the
was.
entrance.
Yeah.
You look at how grand that entrance used to be. The two dragons were fantastic. Now it's crap.
Yeah.
Well, I think it works against its too when you look at, a stone's throw away. You've got Forbidden Journey, which arguably has the most immersive queue in the entire world. So, I mean, even not comparison, there
we go.
That one's for you. Even not comparing it to the original incarnation of, what was the original coaster?
Dueling Dragons.
Yeah, Dueling Dragons. It still pales in comparison to the rest of the detail and the work that they put into the Wizarding World.
Oh, totally. But they did it on a budget. They obviously knew they had so much money. What can we do?
Yeah.
Do you spread that money thinner? If you think they had to put in 2 new attractions to take over from Hippogriff and that money gets spread even further, which means, people already complain. There's been cuts with the Dementors in Forbidden Journey and stuff like that. You've got to look at Forbidden Journey potentially wouldn't be, the whole area maybe wouldn't have been as good as it is if they'd have had to spread that, whatever it was, $250-300 million budget further.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have killed them for within Dragon Challenge to have just at least covered the ground so it maybe looked like a rocky outcrop or something like that. Yeah, but they could have done that, and then on one of the drops at the bottom have a nest with an egg in it. That's not going to take a lot of cash.
Especially, even retrofitted. The point is that land has brought in so much money for that resort.
Yeah.
Didn't they say they paid for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Butterbeer sales alone in the first 6 months or something?
Yep.
Crazy, isn't it?
Which is mental.
I think we're all in agreement here, though, that Dragon Challenge is probably, it's very, very low on my list of things that I would like to see change at Islands of Adventure. Like, I think there's much more pressing things that they could do with that theme park right now instead of Dragon Challenge.
Toon Lagoon.
Toon Lagoon. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had a vendetta. Well, not a vendetta, but we've had our issues with Toon Lagoon pretty much since the podcast started.
Because it was dated when it opened.
Yeah.
But I mean, a couple of the other rumours I've heard, Leo wrote a blog about it for the blog a month or so ago, that apparently he'd heard potentially they were looking at doing what they did with Back to the Battlestar Galactica out in Universal Japan, is it? So if you look at that, that's a dueling coaster. And what they did with that is they changed, it was originally 2 suspended dueling coasters, and what they did was they kept one suspended and then they put an on-the-track coaster on the other side. It looks pretty cool, actually, because it's like it's Battlestar Galactica Humans versus Cylons now.
Do they run them simultaneously still?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
So you're just like riding by and then someone kicks you in the head?
I don't know how it would work like that. But then, like, another rumor I heard was just somehow combining the 2 tracks and just making it one long track.
I'd actually be okay with that.
That would be a huge coaster.
I don't think they will ever duel again. Is there not a lawsuit?
I have no idea.
I don't. It's rumor. Well, we're in a rumor mill, so that's fine. And I can't think of my source either. But isn't there a lawsuit that if they start dueling them again, is it B&M?
No, I heard B&M.
It's a B&M coaster.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah, but that they will actually physically remove that coaster.
That's not what I heard was the opposite, that it was designed to duel, and by not dueling it, it's not actually working the way it should be. Therefore, B&M have turned around and said, we will not upkeep that coaster.
Well, I
don't know whether that's true or not.
No, I've heard this other. Since then, I've heard this very recently. And for the life of me, I can't remember where.
So if they do demo the attraction, what do you want to see come to Hogsmeade?
You beat me to it. That's the question I was going to ask. I think they need some kind of interactive walkthrough attraction that incorporates the Forbidden Forest, the Shrieking Shack, and the Whomping Willow. Let's flesh out Hogsmeade more.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I almost want to see them. I really like the idea that you're spitballing at me. But kind of, I see them going more of like a synergetic route. And what I mean by that is incorporating something from Fantastic Beasts. So, for instance, like maybe Rowling can come up with a new story and they have maybe not a menagerie, but they have a walkthrough exhibit of all the various creatures that you can find.
So basically a zoo.
From Fantastic Beasts. So think something almost like Triceratops Encounter, but with all the different creatures.
Yeah, so Fantastic Beasts, the zoo.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Fantastic Beasts much more incorporated into the next park.
Maybe.
See, we actually talk. I don't want to. Lee, you already brought it up, so thanks. But like, I don't want to plug the new show at all. But Travis actually brought this up on Grim Grinning Hosts about elements we want to see incorporated. And basically, I said that I kind of don't want to see Fantastic Beasts in the third park because I really think Universal's banking way too heavily on Potter at this point.
But then it's not Potter.
It's still the Wizarding World franchise.
Ah, but it's not Potter. You said Potter specifically. I'm going to be pedantic.
I love Harry Potter, but if you can tell me, like, if it comes down to seeing something, an original land or another property versus Fantastic Beasts, I'd rather see them try to incorporate Fantastic Beasts elements into what's already there.
But can
instead of trying to build another third land?
How do you incorporate something that's not set in this country into an already existing land?
Newt Scamander's magical menagerie type deal or magical zoo.
Oh, goodbye New York section of the park.
Well, yes.
The New York section of the park will go away and it will become the Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah,
section.
it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just thinking here that area could actually become the walkway down to Hagrid's hut. Then you have some of the Fantastic Beasts because he has them.
Oh, right. I've just
So you've got, and it could.
You do a care of magical creatures.
That's where I was going.
Ah, we've got it.
Stealing my thunder.
No,
That's
I followed the trail through your head and got there.
You've already got your walkways to make them feel as if you're descending down the side of the mountain, down to Hagrid's hut, because that really should be there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
It is, but it's part of Flight of the Hippogriff, but not really.
It needs to be a bigger part. You know, even if it just, they could actually have Hagrid's hut as a little refreshment place. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, that would be cool.
I honestly,
go and get your drinks down there.
I think they could do a Hagrid meet and greet, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
That would be one tall actor, though.
Yeah, but you put him on stilts.
Well, I mean, some of the leather faces this year were like 6'7", almost 7 feet tall.
Hunter, you know Hagrid's a half giant, don't you?
How tall is Hagrid? 8
well,
feet?
it says specifically in the books that his hands are as big as dustbin lids, which is big. It's bigger than your head.
Well, you got to keep in mind this Wizarding World's based on the movies too.
Is it as well? Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. But yes, thank you.
So Hagrid in the film, he is portrayed as being 8'6".
There you go. Yeah, you could do that.
It's quite tall.
He is known for his thick West Country accent. And then you can get Fang. I mean, I would do a Fang meet and greet all day long.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Fang is gorgeous.
A little. You could have people with little dragons that have just hatched, little
Oh, yeah.
Norbits.
Like they do in Jurassic Park.
Discovery Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
better ones.
I'm not sure if you guys have looked at it, but over at Universal Studios Japan, they've actually done little walkthrough exhibits like this. Like they did one for Monster Hunter, which is a very big franchise.
All right,
and they
yes.
have audio animatronic creatures and kind of like a walkthrough experience you can check out there. Like I think, now I'm actually getting excited for the removal of Dragon Challenge, but I think there's a lot of potential there, if you do something with all these creatures from the new franchise, because I'm not sure if any of you have had the chance to go see the movie yet. Which is really,
it's
really
killing
good.
me.
We won't get to
know.
go this weekend
It's
either because I'm
killing me.
working.
Every post on Facebook is like, oh my God, it is amazing. And I'm like, no.
I've not.
I need to.
I've got to admit, though, the thought of blast-ended scroots kind of worries me.
Flobberworms. You could do,
Flobberworms.
full works, man. Nifflers. I need to see a niffler,
Nifflers.
by the way.
And a
Saw one
actual
today.
meet and greet. Think like, once again, Triceratops encounter, but with Buckbeak.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just.
Yeah.
I was going to say a Buckbeak, and it's got to
You
be
have to
one that
bow
bows
to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You could do it kind of like they do Ollivanders. So you take a group of so many through, and then one person gets called to meet him, and you get a picture with him.
Oh.
And then every once in a while, it really does injure a kid.
Yeah.
I got slashed open at Universal, and it was the best vacation ever.
I can think of a couple of volunteers.
Yes. Well, speaking of, it's something we talked about briefly, I think before, was it before we started recording, about the trees that have been removed in front of Hogwarts Castle. Now, Darren, what did you get told by your VIP guide?
That a lot of the other trees were damaged by the storm when they went through, so they replaced them with smaller trees that will eventually get bigger.
The rumour I heard, and I want to say it was Derek Bergen on the e-ticket report, and he's not the first person I've heard say it, but apparently they've been removed because they will be installing projectors to do some sort of projection show on Hogwarts Castle.
After what happened on the London waterfront at Halloween.
I'm only telling you the rumour that I have heard.
J.K. Rowling has signed off on something like that.
Well, haven't they just started
doing?
doing something? Haven't they just announced they're doing some sort of Christmas thing in Japan and the Wizarding World this
The
year?
decorations are already up. Like, it
And
looks amazing.
Haven't they done projection things in Japan?
I don't know.
I
The
think for
Wizarding
the
World as well?
opening they did.
Yes.
For the opening, they like cast a spell over the castle. And don't they do special lighting and everything as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. They need something in that. We've said it. I think we've been talking about it for at least 3 years at this point. You've got Cinematic Spectacular in USF. They need something in Iowa to keep people over there.
Yeah.
To give people a reason
And
to stay.
A Wizarding World nighttime spectacular. I mean, what else could you need?
Yeah. No, it would be amazing. I mean, that land at night is fantastic anyway.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the only issue I see them having is just how congested that little corner gets there.
Yeah.
And they just did not build it in an area that's really conducive to like a huge crowd sitting there, because it's just on the day-to-day operations. It looks like there's a problem. Like when you walk up to Forbidden Journey, you're like, okay, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Well, they did that just for the big reveal when you're going through Hogsmeade, but you're absolutely right. It is a tight little spot. You could probably, fit 200 people in that little corner if you really squeezed them all together.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's still like, it'll be like sort of visible from other areas, like from the bridge and that kind of thing, but that's also like the only thoroughfare you have, through that area of the park as well. So you have to keep at least a row open.
I think if they do a projection show, they're going to have to be very, very respectful as far as what they want to do in the Wizarding World. Like, I don't think they're going to do a cinematic spectacular style presentation of the Harry Potter films on the castle. That's just not something that I see them doing out of respect for the original stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what you could do, to be perfectly honest.
Like a continuous thing, not like acid assault at Horror Nights, but that same kind of idea where you had the
it's Voldemort attacking Hogwarts and it's just crumbling apart in front of your 9-year-old.
Yeah. And setting on fire.
Merry Christmas. And then you just put a big bow on top. There you go.
Put a Santa hat on
some sort of projection like where the spell they cast at the end of Deathly Hallows, you know, with the dome over the top and fireworks sort of blasting. You could do it.
Or you could have like Dementors going.
Yeah.
Or you could have Shadows of Dragons.
I'm excited now.
You know, Shadows of Dragons, Buckbeak.
That'd be cool.
You know.
I hope this is true. I hope it's not just a rumour.
Yeah. Right. We thought we'd wrap up, now that Halloween Horror Nights is over, to make a few predictions for Halloween Horror Nights 27. Would have been nice to have had a bit of a heads up, to have thought of some predictions.
Just come on, what was the top of your head? Hunter's already done one about 3 weeks ago.
Well, I predict it'll be in September and October.
It might not be. It might be in June and July and August and September and October.
Well, didn't last year we get our first reveal back in like April?
Yes.
That was Texas Chainsaw?
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
not because of the like little rumor people thought of. They saw Soundstage 33 with a in it to win it thing on the marquee, and they thought that was a clue. But anyways, the new movie's coming out, so I think that's a good possibility.
Okay.
I threw this one out on another podcast, but I said Aliens. Like, I think a lot of people were kind of let down by Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
Like, it was apparently a very pretty house, but it wasn't a very scary house, which, you know, that's okay. My favorite house this year was a pretty house, not a scary house. But I think there's so much they could do with Aliens after revisiting that movie. Like, that's top of my wish list. Minus, once again, Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I think it's something I really want to see.
I'd love to see that.
That's past due, I think, for sure.
Absolutely. I think because Hunter, you said a couple of weeks ago when you brought it up, didn't you, that it was like you thought it came out at a time where it was probably a little too close for Halloween Horror Nights to have jumped on it at that point, whereas next year's probably ripe for it.
Yeah, I think I said on a couple of weeks ago, was this the episode it was just me and you and Tracy on?
I think it was, yeah, just where we just talked about what we were doing for Halloween and stuff, didn't we? You threw it out on there.
Like I said, I think I looked it up, and like Ash versus Evil Dead aired either at the very end or mid October of last year. So it was, because they start planning these things so far in advance, probably a little too late for them to figure out what they were going to pull into this year. So hopefully next year. I've got my fingers crossed.
Yeah. I think if we don't see, and if we do, there's some serious money bending going to be going on in this house. If we don't see a Stranger Things house next year, everybody's clamoring
if
for
we
it.
don't get there.
I just think it would be stunning.
I just think it's too dependent on the child actors.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna get like weird mannequins of kids all over the place.
Exactly.
Or it'll be like American.
What's more
it'll be like
creepy than
American
that?
Horror Story this year, Darren, where they have like that little kid who gets killed at the very beginning, and it's like a 35-year-old man with stubble.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question for Darren then. Darren, do you see the repository coming back?
I see something like it coming back. I don't know if they'll include the VR again this time. If they're listening to feedback that they're getting, I hope anyway. Or if they do include the VR, that they work on it quite a bit. I'd like to see them like put that into serious development though. But the actor side of it, like paying it for an upcharge house where you've got like personal interaction in a small group with actors, you know, that are really good at what they're doing. That was definitely worth the price of admission. So,
I was talking to one of our listeners, Mackenzie, the other day, and she did it. And she said that through the entire VR segment, because she'd never done VR before, she was just amazed that she had this thing in her hand and what she had hold of, and she was looking through the VR and saying, "I've got a torch, woo!" and just like waving it around in front of her face. And then at the end of it, they're like, "What colours did you see?" And she was like, "I had a torch."
Darren, do you see it coming back as like Repository 2, Repository 3, just as time goes on, kind of like what Knott's was doing with Trapped for a while? Or do you think they're going to go with a totally different theme this next time?
I would say not a totally different theme, but maybe centered around a different location within their Legendary Truth universe that they're, continuing to build with that. So that's what I would anticipate for it anyway.
Go on.
Just out of interest, do you know which horror movies have 30th anniversaries next year? Hellraiser.
Oh, they've never done Hellraiser, have they?
Evil Dead 2.
Oh.
The Lost Boys.
Ooh.
Near Dark.
Oh, that's a terrible film.
The Gate, I haven't heard of. Prince of Darkness, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Well, if they want any excuse to do that, because Mike's it's like their favourite Nightmare on Elm Street film, isn't it?
The Monster Squad.
So. Ooh, that's a big...
They added so much of Dream Warriors into...
Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason.
Dolls.
I wonder.
Creepshow 2. I don't know what Street
Never
Trash
seen
is.
any of
House
the
2.
Shows. Never seen any of the House films either.
Blood Diner. Oh my goodness, I haven't thought of that one in a long time. The Believers. Slumber Party Massacre 2.
That sounds awesome.
Bad Taste.
Wasn't that Peter Jackson's first film?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it? Or was that Brain Dead or something? No, I think...
Brain Dead.
Is that Brain Dead?
Yeah. I've heard of that one though, Bad Taste.
Jaws the Revenge.
No, I can't seem to do the Jaws house. I don't know how that would work.
Predator.
You know, Andy's actually steering that ship. He wants a Jaws house.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like hardcore, he wants a Jaws house.
Thomas Wagner as well, for sure.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. Some really, really bad ones.
Do we see more or less houses than or the same as this year? What do we have? 9 plus the repository. Do we see the same?
I see the same.
Yeah.
Cannibal hookers.
Darren,
I don't want that.
Zombie
do you
Death
see
House.
as one of their big sound stages next year? Do you see the Vamp crew coming back?
As a house.
Yeah, I can definitely see them having a lot of fun in that universe. I mean, you have vampires attacking like a 50s diner and a drive-in theater. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do there.
Great, like lighthearted house, which this year, none of the houses really had that, like a quirky, lighthearted feeling, right?
No, they've never done like another Blood and Guts since Blood and Guts, right? Yeah. Well, no, they did Rod, right?
The closest thing to that would be Krampus, and that did not have a lighthearted tone at all in the iteration we had here in Orlando, for sure.
No.
So yeah, I would definitely like to see something like that come back. So that would be really cool. That'd be a great idea, actually.
There's a lot of people pushing for merchandising alone. I think Universal would be smart to do it, but a lot of people want to see a trick or treat house.
Oh yes!
Oh my goodness!
Yes! I would be coming out for that.
Will you now?
You said that for Evil Dead too.
Yeah, well, that's it. Put Stranger Things, Evil Dead 2, or Ash versus the Evil Dead and Trick or Treat, and I'm there.
Yeah. Well, not Evil Dead 2, because that is Evil Dead. It's the exact same movie.
No, it's not. Evil Dead, I can't stand Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 is awesome.
I actually watched
I
watched the original Evil Dead, and I'm not a fan. I watched it again recently.
No, it's terrible. Yeah. Darren, I know it's not related to what's going on next year, but I don't ever remember you guys actually discussing it on the Dead Man's Digest. What was that weird mazy thing at the end of the Chance House this year then?
Oh, nothing. It was nothing. It was we did talk about it. It was a ADA access.
Okay. So all that speculation that went on beforehand, it looks like they're doing some sort of mazy thing at the end. No.
Yep. As usually happens with Horror Night speculation.
Oh, yes.
We know American Horror Story is coming back next year.
Yeah.
It's going to be seasons 2, 3, and 6. That's already been established.
Right.
Yeah.
As someone who's working his way through the American Horror Story series, I'm actually really excited for that.
We've got as far as episode 1 of season 2.
I think what it is, we need a break between seasons because
it's a bit
the other characters
are
too fresh. Right.
Yep.
Let's wrap that up.
I know.
Because I'm sure we could speculate for a long time on our favourite subject. Right. So, for James and Shannon, Kiki, Philip, Tes, Tod, Maureen, Darren, Hunter, Lee, and myself, the lovely Tracy, very modest. This has been the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast.
That's it for another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on iTunes, and while you're there, please leave us a rating and a review. Listen to us on Stitcher, Google Play, and all your podcast apps. Email us with any questions or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com, or even better, record your message at speakpipe.com/uuopodcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, keyword UUO Podcast. Check out our blog for even more content at uuopodcast.com. And finally, our sponsors, Fairy Godmother Travel, are here to help with all your Universal vacation needs. So check them out today at fairygodmothertravel.com. Well, that's a wrap. See you next week.